Welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with DJ Tollerton. DJ, how are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Really good. Thank you for having me on. It's good to come and have a chat with you. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm doing great, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on the channel, mate. And so am I right in saying you're a 22-year-old lightweight who's 2-0?
That is right, mate. That's correct.
Great.
22, lightweight, 2-0. So third fight in about 6 weeks' time.
Great, okay. Well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
Do you know what, mate? I was late into the sport, so I didn't walk into a boxing gym until I was sort of 16 years old, which is late. So I'd literally finished school, and then said I was going to start boxing at about 14.
Right.
And my mum said, nah, finish school first, because she knows what I'm like. She knows if I started boxing, that'll be it. I'll do nothing else. So as soon as I finished my GCSEs, mate, straight into a gym and fought about 8 weeks later, 12 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of those where I was desperate to do it for so long, so I was studying it all the time, watching it all the time. And it sounds a bit daft, but I just felt like I would do all right if I started. It was the only sport that I've ever done that I've actually been decent at, but I just thought there was something that pulled me to boxing that I thought, you know, if I start this sport, I'll be okay and I'll do well. And touch wood, mate, so far everything's gone quite well. So, yeah, we're doing all right.
Definitely. So, if you kind of started a little bit later, did you have much of an amateur kind of career?
Do you know what, mate? So, so in terms of amateurs, I never actually boxed as an amateur. I had 10 white collar fights before I turned professional. So, in terms of amateur bouts, mate, I had 0, and I had 10 white collar fights, and then COVID hit. I had 1 more after COVID, then turned pro. So it's a bit of a weird story. Not many people do it that route.
No, it's a good route.
Yeah, Joe, it's the route I've gone down, mate, and it's worked out well for me now. So it's going well. I'm learning in the gym. So I've not got loads of experience. I'm not the most seasoned sort of amateur or anything like that. But I've been in there sparring with some top quality lads, and I'm learning on the job, mate, and it's going well.
Definitely, great. And so, do you kind of remember what happened in your first white collar fight?
I can, mate. So I boxed a kid called Ryan, and I beat him on a split decision. And it was a close fight. You know, I still sometimes watch that fight back and think sometimes he beat me, sometimes I think I beat him. It was close. It was one of those. And it was a tough fight. Still to this day, mate, probably one of the hardest fights I've had. So it was tough and he was game, and it was good. I remember being so nervous for the first one, you know, because he was, I think, 19 or 20 and I was 16.
Oh, wow.
I remember being so scared walking out there. And I maybe only had 10 people there with me to watch, and it was unbelievable. And I got the win, won on a split, and from there, mate, that was it. I was addicted to it, mate. I couldn't get enough. I fought 2 weeks later and just kept it going like that. So that was quality.
That's good to hear. That's great. And so, I mean, why did you end up kind of turning professional when you did?
Do you know what? So through COVID, mate, I was ready to sort of give it all up. It wasn't going anywhere. I was in a white collar gym. I was thinking, you know what? I'm 20 years old. Like, what am I going to do with this sport?
Yeah.
And that's when I met my coach, the coach that I'm professional with now, a guy called Adam Butler. He's a top coach, mate, probably the best out there in my opinion.
Yeah.
He'd sort of retired from it all. He wasn't training anyone anymore. And I dropped him a message saying, look, I really want to train with you. Can we sort something out? And we sorted it. And we started doing some pads and working together. And then he took me for a few sparring sessions with some sort of good, well-seasoned pros. And I'll be honest with you, I was going into these spars not expecting an awful lot from myself. 6 to 8 spars with these pros, I was hanging with them, if not winning the rounds and doing well against them. I thought, you know what, there's maybe something here. And the promoter, my promoter now, he has a gym, and he sort of said to me, he went, look, you're probably ready to turn over. We'll match you well, we'll get some good fights, we'll have some good learning fights, and let's see what happens. So I made the decision. I was at uni in Leeds at the time. I dropped out of uni, I gave everything up, packed in work full time. I work part time now, packed it all in, and just went fully committed to the boxing. And just recently, 2 weeks ago, I mean, I'm from Lincoln. 2 weeks ago, I've recently moved up to Manchester. Still being trained by my trainer in Lincoln, so I head back at the weekend. But I'm now training with Pat Barrett's gym at Colliers. So literally, mate, this year I've said, you know what, if we're going to do it, let's go all in. And I've actually moved halfway across the country, trained with some of the elite level guys like Lyndon Arthur, Zelka Barrett, these top guys. Learning from and drinking it in, and I'm sort of hopefully, mate, this year we can have a big push and see where we are sort of early 2024 for titles.
Definitely, that kind of drive in your mindset is definitely something that you need in this sport.
100%, mate. I think again, still to this day, I think, you know what, I give everything to the sport, and I don't think there's too many people that are willing to sacrifice what I've sacrificed. I mean, like I said, I packed in uni. I had a good job. I knocked it on the head. I've moved halfway across the country to move into a tiny little flat on my own. Like, I'm sacrificing everything to try and get a little bit back from this sport, and it's risky, but I'm a big believer in with great risk, mate, comes great rewards. Great rewards if I keep working hard and keep putting the graft in like I'm doing now. So we'll get there.
Definitely great. Well, like you said, things are going very well at the moment. 2-0 in the professional side of things, and so kind of out of them 2 professional fights, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
Second one, mate. So I boxed a guy in the second fight called Christian Narvaez. Tough guy. And like I said, I won every round. It was a comfortable fight. I think the first, my pro debut, there was a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
It's your debut fight. I'd not really boxed properly in 4 years before COVID. So my pro debut was almost like a lot of ring rust. You know, the smaller gloves, the longer rounds, more rounds. I still won every round. It was still a comfortable fight. But I think the second fight, I showed glimpses of what I can actually do. And it was a much better performance. Like I said, I came out the ring looking the same way as I went in. It was easy work, to be fair. It was nice.
Definitely, that's good to hear. And so, would you kind of say that you're constantly improving?
Yeah, I think, you know what, with the position that I'm in, with the lack of amateur experience I have, is every single day is like a school day for me. So every single day I'm in the gym with these top level guys, or I'm training with my coach. You know, I'm learning every single day. And again, I've said it, not to sound on repeat, but I'm a really hard worker. I don't know that many people that train as hard as me. I said, I'm juggling work. I work now as like a boxing PT, so I'm constantly padding people or training people boxing. Like, I never switch off from the sport. Like, and my coach is he works in psychology and stuff, and he's massive on training the brain as much as the body. And I'm constantly thinking about boxing. I mean, I've got a routine where every single day I'll make sure I watch a fight. I'm watching boxing every day. Cool. I'm writing 3 or 4 things down that a boxer that I've never heard of before. I'll see what he does well. I'll mimic that. I'll go to the gym. I'll try that day. I'm constantly trying to develop my own style, because, again, with the lack of amateur experience that I had, really, really important for me that I learn quick and I catch up. I'm constantly playing catch up with these guys. And I think, again, with me never being able to switch off from the sport, and I'm constantly challenging myself, driving to new gyms, moving across the country, training with new guys, I'm growing at a much quicker rate than a lot of the lads around me. And I think that's going to be my key to success down the line.
Yeah, definitely. It's seems like you're doing everything great so far. And so, I mean, this upcoming fight you've got, am I right? It's with Scott Callow Promotions, and I mean, what is it like working with them? Yeah,
it is. Do you know what, mate? Scott's unbelievable. So there's a lot of, in boxing, mate, there's a lot of people who aren't as caring and nice. I mean, Scott will bend over backwards to make sure all his fighters are looked after. I genuinely can't say enough positive things about Scott. I mean, he's done everything to me from before I even turned pro, like sparring with guys at his gym. He's always finding me sparring. It was Scott that made it possible for me to come and train with Pat in Manchester. So I can't say enough positive things about Scott and what he's done for me. He's made it possible for me to go and chase this dream, with giving me the opportunity, signing me, getting me the right fights, giving me the sort of the platform to perform on with his shows. And now, when I told him I was going to move to Manchester, almost like sourcing the gym, he almost did it all for me. So without Scott, mate, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that I'll just be another kid on the white collar circuit. And the same goes for my trainer. Those 2 guys bend over backwards to make sure that I get what I need in my training, so I can perform my best come fight night. So those 2 guys, the work they put in is unmatched. Like I said, I have to keep training so hard to make sure that I'm doing those guys proud, in my opinion, anyway.
Definitely. You definitely need people like that around you.
Yeah.
100%. And so, I mean, you're going to be fighting on one of his cards come March 4th, and so how's preparations been going for that?
Awesome, mate. So like I said, full camp started a couple of weeks ago when I came up to Manchester. I had some time off over Christmas, enjoyed myself a bit. Training's going really well, weight's on point. Got my second sparring camp tomorrow. So I felt really sharp last week, considering it had been maybe 3 or 4 weeks since I'd sparred. Felt really good. It's only another 4-rounder, I believe. So in terms of the fitness, I'm not that bothered about it. I think 4 rounds, I'm quite happy with that. It's just sharpening up now and getting things right. I mean, again, I've got a new voice in the corner now. Like, you know, someone like Pat giving me little bits of advice in sparring and training, just chipping in with little pieces I need to work on. So I genuinely think March the 4th is going to be the best performance from me today, just because I finally feel like I've got everything together in my training camp, and I can just come and show people what I can really do.
definitely. It's good to hear. Okay, and so how much do you kind of know about your opponent? You say that you kind of study boxing a lot, but how much do you know about this upcoming opponent?
Do you know what? So, again, my opponent at the minute, it's sort of semi-confirmed. We're not getting anything fully penciled in, but
okay.
I like to study my opponents big time. I've got a little ritual where, for my pro debut, I found the guy that I was boxing. I knew who he was, and I sat there with a notepad like about this thick, and I watched. He had 17 fights I could find on the internet, and I watched all 17 of them. And I made notes of every single round of every single fight. I made notes, like I visualized him when I was shadow boxing. Everything that he did, I was prepared for. And same thing with my second fight. I think preparation is the key in boxing. I think a good plan and good preparation can beat someone who maybe more talented than you and maybe a better boxer than you. But if you study and you prepare for your opponents, you can find holes before you even got in the ring. And I'm big on that. Like I said, I'm always watching my opponents. I always have done. Since I was on the white collar circuit, I've always studied who I'm going to box. I always like to know little tricks they've got. And I'll always tell people around me before I fight exactly what I'm going to hit them with. And I've not been wrong to date, so it's gone well so far.
That's great, okay. And so, for anybody who kind of haven't watched your previous two fights and might be wanting to come and watch this fight, what would you say kind of makes you interesting as a fighter?
Me, mate, I'm aggressive. I come forward. I'm trying to land big shots all the time. Do you know what? I'm a good boxer. I'm a slick boxer when I want to be, but anyone around me that see me spar or see me train knows that I like to have a fight. I'm always looking for the big shots. I'm never satisfied winning on points. I know my two fights so far, I've gone to points, but believe me, like if I see a chance to get somebody out of there, I will. I'm spiteful when I want to be, and I'm aggressive and I punch hard and I'm fast. I'll get in there and I'll have a tear with anybody. Like I said, I might not be the best in the world at the minute, but I do genuinely believe that I get in there with anybody, they'll know they've had a tough night's work.
Definitely, okay. And so, I mean, you are just right at the early part of your career, and from the scenes of it, you seem like you're kind of going in the right projection to go far, but how far do you believe you can go?
Do you know what? In my head, right, I've got a goal that I set out before I turned pro. So, I'm from a small city in Lincoln. We don't have loads and loads of boxers there. I think, as far as I'm aware, no one from Lincoln's ever won the British title. That, to me, is the goal that I look at and think, I want to win that title. I mean, we've had lads win the areas, we've had someone win the Commonwealth, and I just look at that British title and think, do you know what, if I can win that, I can sort of cement myself as, I would have a claim to be the best lad that Lincoln's ever produced. And to me, that's what I want. I want to win that, that's the goal. 3-4 years time, I want to win that belt, and anything that comes after that to me is icing on the cake. Because I think if you win the British title, you've got a good chance of winning anything else after that, because I think the British title is one of the hardest to win in the sport.
Yeah, definitely.
So to me, I want to go and win that title, potentially win it outright. That'll be even better, defend it 3 times, but if I just win it and move on, I'm happy with that as well.
Great, okay. And so, well, I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm really well sponsored from a good city of Lincoln. I've got a great fan base. Sort of the rowdy Lincoln lot, that's what they get called now. They're always noisy. There might not be loads of them, but they're always noisy. I'm very well sponsored. I'm sponsored by, I'll go for the companies. We've got Cherry Transport, unbelievable. They're always looking after me. We've got AG Construction, Netland Plastering. We've got Jez Tim's Roofing. Howden's, the kitchen company, are coming on board as well. We've got 2 people who are friends with my mum and dad. They're always helping out, chucking me money as and when I need it. And like I said, I'm well sponsored. I'm well looked after. I couldn't do it without these people. They make everything possible. So genuinely, without them, it would be really tough. So to all those people that are sponsoring me, like I said, hopefully in the long term, you guys can reap the rewards when we start taking over on the TV.
Definitely, great, okay. And so, well, I believe you're fighting for this fight in Nottingham, and so I might be. I'm going to be trying to be about for that fight. I'll see if I can
awesome quality.
And so, if I am about, would you possibly be up for like a live interview after the fight? Yeah,
100%, mate. If you can get there, like I said, I'm always down for it. Always down. Always good to. Like I said, you're helping us low-level boxers out. So, like I said, it'll be great to help you go on your come up as well. I'll be well up for that.
All right, great. Thank you. And
awesome.
Great. Okay. And so, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like video. And thanks for watching.